if you
Wrong.
will. Shoot, be do.
Okay. And we're live.
Okay, let's do like this.
Okay. What is this?
Mm. What's good, everybody? It's Gentlemen After Dark Wednesday. Oh, look who's here. Hello, Miss Three. You all right?
Miss Three snuck in here.
I know.
Throwing up signs. Throwing signs like
Snuck up in here.
I know. When you came on, I'm like, who's that lady?
So look, we're gonna get started, you guys. We're gonna get right into it. I had an opportunity to have a little conversation. Talina, you and I, we always talk. Well, not always, but we talk enough to say, give me some feedback, give me some critiques. So that's what I've been getting from some of my viewers. And one of the major complaints that they've aired to me is the intro is nice and everything, but it's too long. You got the music, and then you do the introduction, and then you turn around and you introduce again. And yeah, so we're going to jump right into it. We're going to see how that works so that we have more time to spend with our audience. I do want to say thank you all for being here. For those of you who have joined bright and early, I definitely want to acknowledge you. Thank you to my sis PK. Tamara, I see you. My bro Busy, I appreciate you guys for being present bright and early. So, hey, let's get that in, right? Yeah, I am going to ask my grown folk now how y'all feeling. I am going to do that. How y'all feeling?
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
Great.
Fantastic.
I love my sister. She said it ain't killing what 2 minutes, right? No, that's not what they said. That's not what they said. I see the YouTube world is in the building. Good evening to you, Lolo. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Anywho, oh boy. I don't know. How do you spell Lakers? FLA. I'm gonna be quiet.
Basketball. Gotcha.
You better just get to the business. Get to the business and don't start the nonsense about the Lakers. We can't help it that you a Wax Clippers fan, but let's just get to the business.
Don't be disrespectful.
Anywho,
tonight's episode of Gentlemen After Dark, y'all, we are on season number 9, episode number 3. Tonight, we are going to talk about boundaries. And remember, Gentlemen After Dark, a place where grown folks can talk without judgment. So, as you guys already know, the dude Devin, Miss 3, and most recently, Miss Talina, or Miss T, as I like to call her. Miss T, I've been encouraging everyone to tap in on Fearless Fridays. Check her out. Let's do what we did last week. Anywho, tap in, check her out on Friday nights. You know, it's a really brief nugget dropping. I'm gonna call it a podcast because that's what it basically is.
Yeah, basically.
Everybody hasn't, everybody ain't. I get it, but when you do, you won't be disappointed. But tonight, you know, I asked Miss T if she could be prepared for us to discuss this topic of boundaries. She hit some points in her brief conversation last week, Friday, and I think that we should make it a point to discuss as often as possible boundaries. So let's start off like this. How do we define boundaries? And I'm gonna ask Miss T to share that information of what exactly are boundaries. Shoot, be do.
Yeah, shoot, be do. Man, that's such a loaded question. But I think we can look at it just like we think about property lines. Let's go there, because on a property line, you know, your line only goes so far. At the end of that, it's an imaginary boundary. It's not a real boundary, but there's something that exists there that this is the end or this is where something stops.
Right.
On the other side of that, it's when someone's approaching your property, they know where your property line potentially begins. So for me, when you talk about boundaries, we're thinking about, or for me, it's what are the things that are important to me? What are the things that I need to either make someone back up from, or what are the things that I'm allowing people to come to me with? And as a result of that, there's so many different boundaries. So when we spoke last week on my Fearless Fridays, I said, hey, listen, I'm going to share a few of my boundaries, or those that sometimes we don't even know that they are boundaries. We haven't defined them as boundaries. And those that we maybe have defined as boundaries, we're not really clear about. So I wanted to share, like, what are some of the boundaries that I'm struggling with right now in my own personal and professional life, and really, really like do a deep dive around that. And when you were on, you were like, hey, some of those, we learn our boundaries as children from our parents or lack thereof. And I said, and that right there is the ticket for me. Mm-hmm. I wasn't taught. There was no property line. There was no nothing. Like, we had a very open floor plan with a single mom. So we didn't have a lot of boundaries, right? She gave us free range. We had rules. And maybe some of those could be identified in some people's lives as boundaries, but for us, they were just sort of the rules, right? They really weren't hard lines. They weren't deal breakers per se, right? So for me, and as an adult, these are like your deal breakers. These are the things that will cause you to be derailed. These are things that when someone impedes or crosses or disrespects those particular things, they can cause greater problem in your life. And that's the point, right? So how do we identify those things for ourselves as adults today? Because again, growing up, maybe we didn't have them, but today I know very clearly what my challenges are as it relates to boundaries. So that's how I look at it. And of course, that crosses personal life, that crosses your business life. So I really wanted to get into the deep dive of that this upcoming Fearless Friday.
Okay. So I'm going to give you this. For simply just having Fearless Fridays and breaking free from some of your own fears. Evening to you, Fuego. Good evening to you.
Hey, Fuego.
Hi. Sorry, guys.
This right here. Let's put the ladies on top. There we go.
That's right.
we can be foundational, brother. We can do it. See what I did? We'll be foundational.
Anywho, so let me start the night off with Maybe we should start it off like that.
There he go.
There's on floor. Here we go. Let's get everybody involved. What are some boundaries you have in place for yourself or others? Or you can replace "or" and put "and others." And what are some boundaries you have in place? And shouts out to my audience again for always being here and participating. For the super chats, that's what we're gonna call y'all, the super chats. We counting on y'all as well. What are some boundaries you have in place for yourself and or others?
Personal physical space. That I it's something about somebody being like right up on you. And now if the energy is good, that's not a problem. But I'm talking about, it's like me and you having a conversation, you get right up in my face. Either I'm gonna bag up or I'm gonna bag you up, because it's just it's a boundary, it's a comfort thing. Like, I was told somebody get this far away from you, striking range, start swinging if they're aggressive. So I would prefer you to just be at distance. And I try to give people that same space, because don't nobody want you, bag up, get off me. You know,
There you go.
that's one of them.
Okay. For the dude, good looking out. Personal space. I'm gonna write that down. Personal space. Who's next?
Mine is similar.
Oh,
go ahead, T.
We both say go ahead, T. I think mine is similar. Well, there's two. One, my no is a hard no, and Talina knows this. Like us growing up together, like they'll all want to do something. I'm like, no, I'm good. And they're like, you always faking out, but it's not about that for me. My no is a hard no for me, and I'm okay with it. Like I don't feel judged. I'm like, whatever, y'all do you, but my no is a no. And the other one, personal space. Like, oh my God, Talina knows this too. When it comes to shopping, I am the elbow queen. Like if I'm on an escalator, personal space to me is serious. Like I'll put my hand on my hip and my elbow out like you're too close.
She does.
I can't do the whole Christmas. I can't do the busy season shopping because I have to elbow folks like you too. If you touching my elbow, you too close. I need this. I can't stand that. Like personal space is critical to me, and shopping is my best example because I can't stand it. If you see my elbow up, that means you're too close. Why you got to be right here on it? Just back up. Just I don't like it. So those are my two that stand out for my personal. I think professional. It used to be a boundary where I wouldn't be transparent with the people I supervise. That was huge for me, but I've learned. Hi, Marcus.
What's up, Marcus? Why you give him the elbow?
Because he's not close. He's at the door.
That was funny.
Oh my God. But my professional life, I used to not want to be transparent. That was a boundary for me. But I've learned how important it is for me to be transparent a little bit to build that trusting relationship with the people that I supervise.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that.
I think one of mine, when it comes to personal and personal spaces, when you have limited space within your own environment and you're busy, if I'm working, I need people to like stay out my space. If I'm doing something, I'm on the phone, please don't interrupt me. If you need to, ask me. Like, I used to tell my kids to say, excuse me, mommy, pardon for interrupting. But as adults, you should know. Don't just start speaking to me. I will ignore you. I don't hear you. You are non-existent to me because this is my space. This is the only space I have. I'm busy. Don't do it. Like that's a really annoying thing for me. And just encroaching, like getting, I love being close and touchy-feely. That's wonderful. But when I'm busy doing something, I don't like people coming in on me. I have that same issue. I don't do the back elbow. I do side bows. And Teresa will tell you that. Like my elbows go out this way. Like get back, give me a little bit of room, and allow me to do what I need to do. The other one, I think for me, for business, it is the say no piece. And it personally too, it's the say no. Mine is, I don't say no enough. So because of that, people always ask me and they have an expectation that they can always come at me in that way or ask me where I'm going to drop things and do it for them. And it's not their fault, right? I've created that environment, but because I've done it for so long, now I have to back them down like that. I have to have a hard no. When I say no, no is no, or it's later, not right now. So that's one that I'm definitely not struggling with, but I'm creating some new boundaries around and some strategies to ensure that that's not a consistent theme anymore.
Okay. PK jumps in and says, relationship wise, I have to recognize when he needs time to process.
Oh, yes, that's a good one.
It's our nature. I'm gonna say it's our nature to want to fix things, but we have to allow our partners the opportunity to ask and tell us things when they are ready.
Right, PK.
Buzz him in. There he goes. Snoopy Cliff Mellows in the building. What up, though? What up, though? There we go. Shooby doo. I'm gonna just play musical people. Can you hear Mello? You good?
Yes, yes.
Okay, there we go.
Oh,
PK, okay, I see you three. Hold on, guys. Got to make sure I get all of this going. Lolo from the YouTube world says, I am extremely protective of my personal home life. Everybody, I think I said that right. Everybody
Everybody.
cannot come to or into my home. Don't come up in here with those spirits.
Ooh,
Hey.
That's that's
that's a
heavy.
big one.
That's heavy. You don't realize how much stuff you like. Why is this? You let somebody in your space that they had no business being in there,
Right.
and they brought something with them and left it.
Yes.
For those of you that just joined us, we are talking about boundaries. What are some boundaries you have in place for yourself and or others? So,
Mine kind of is like Talina as well. Like it's hard for me to say no at times. So certain people that are, very close to me, and I've made it, easy for them to rely on me a lot. And I just have to sometimes put those boundaries up and say, or just no, and just keep it at no and not let them suck me back into whatever they have going on. And even that's including family too. Um, I got enough on my plate. I can't take everybody else's sometimes. So just saying no and then actually not even dealing with it.
right. Okay, fuego. Here's one for me. And you guys all speak about personal space. And this is for others. Once I find out that you basically have done me wrong intentionally, it's deuces. Thank you, three. It's deuces for me,
You're
for
right.
you. It's deuces. I
Yep.
don't do good with liars. And I get
Mm.
it. Sometimes we tell little fibs, but I'm talking about the blatant, good and hell well that you lying. And I know you lying. I
Many
don't do
extra.
good with thieves. You stealing, you definitely not welcome nowhere around me. As Lolo made mention about the don't come in my home. Myself, Snoopy Cliff Mello, Miss Day, we all grew up in the same apartment complex. It was not until we really became teenagers that we actually got to go in each other's homes. Because the first thing our mom was like, why are they in here?
Mm-hmm. Who was
And
it?
and it wasn't no hidden secret. You could walk up in there if you wanted to. My mama was gonna speak on it real quick. You need to go home quickly. So the boundaries, like you say, home is where I lay my head. This is where I'm most comfortable. But if I feel that you are any fashion, shape, or form crookling, you'll never be welcome over here. And like I said, once you do me wrong, it's a wrap. There ain't no get back. There's no second chance to get me again. Nah, we good.
You're out of there.
You're out. Just like that.
Kicked off the island.
You've been voted out.
Gone.
Done.
You're fired.
Miss Day, Mello, anything?
um, something I'm kind of going through now, which I'm trying to figure out. And once I find out, woe unto thee, underhandedness. Somebody trying to do me, um, and doing it. They're not even exposing themselves. They trying to do it incognito and expose something that ain't got nothing to do with them. But people that do like that, because like I said, if I say anything behind anybody back, best believe I can say it in your face. So
My
people like
man.
that that don't live that way. Once I
Yes.
find out, I'm confronting you, and you done. You done.
Yeah.
So,
My way.
and you
I
better catch
believe
me on
it.
a good day because then you might gonna have hands on you. So once I find out this person, depending on who they are, yeah. But I keep bail money, so I ain't worried about that.
Them
Yeah.
hands.
My
My
cutoff
God.
game is strong too. Once I'm done, I'm done.
I'm
Like, don't even speak to me. I'm not going to speak to you.
You know, as I got older, it took me getting older and dealing with people like close people, family, friends, stuff like that. And it's like, oh, okay, you can't tell everybody your business. You think that if you tell somebody your business, that's your family, friend, somebody close, you no. And I ain't talking about the bad business. I'm talking about your good business, the stuff that you celebrate. You can't even share that with everybody because the disdain and hatred that they have for you getting it and not them, you'll start to see your own blessings diminish because somebody else wants you to lose it, and you don't realize that they too close to home base, so they siphoning out the energy of what you got built up because they don't want you to have it because they don't have it. So, but if you don't, it's like this: treat them like a mushroom, keep them in the dark, and feed them shit. I had to get older and learn that you got to keep your stuff to yourself. Otherwise, it's not yours anymore. It becomes whoever. Why you
Well,
hating?
my
Why you?
mom always
Those are those
taught me that.
emotional boundaries.
Yeah,
Those are emotional boundaries, right? Because you
right.
can overshare. So that's really what you're referring. Well, for me, that's like the oversharing because I don't need to tell you everything, right? And then there's times where you think you're not telling enough, which still is too much, right? So you do have to be very careful with that because them emotional boundaries, they will knock you each time because you do get burnt because people don't always, they're not always for you. So keeping stuff to yourself, but as we get older, it is more important for us to hold on to some of those things that we typically would want to share. We just can't share everything.
Let's what you say, deep dive? Let's dive into this. Because that's one of my first. There are three types of boundaries that you mentioned, Talina, last week, Friday. One was emotional. That was the very first one. Then
Yes.
there was time
Time.
boundaries.
Yep.
And then there was communication.
Communication.
So let's, if you will, let's tap into this emotional part first because it hits home or hard, drives the point. And I think it was PK. Here we go, right here. PK says it's about having boundaries and respecting other people's boundaries. Okay, so how does that tie in? Well, so you're in a whole relationship or you're trying to get in one or whatever the case may be. My space is my space. Sometimes I don't feel like talking. Is there something wrong? No, nothing's wrong. I'm in one of them stank modes. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to chill, do whatever it is I'm doing. Leave me alone. But
No.
maybe it's just me because there's that one that will pick, probe. What's wrong? What's wrong? You sure nothing wrong? Why you acting like that? What's wrong?
My stomach bubbling. And then go into that. Then I'm gonna make you no more. Ate a bad cheeseburger. 8-day old collard greens like Fred Sanford.
Let's
I
talk
think
about it.
professionally it there's impact for me when it comes to that whole of if I'm quiet one day because I'm just naturally like when you supervise people, I'm usually the same way, happy and walk around with good energy. And there are days where my mind is heavy with some stuff, but I hate the judgment that comes along with that. Like nothing could be wrong, but I just don't feel like talking to y'all today. But then I'm judged. Like, not, if it happens too much, she's not consistent. She's like, that's the piece I hate about when I need to be in my own silence. So the earlier when I talked about transparency, like I've had to share that. Like, this is what that means when it happens. I don't like y'all any less, but sometimes I just need to shut it down and not be judged for not wanting to talk for a whole day. Because I talk a lot. Like that's my job. I talk a lot. Y'all talk a lot. I don't want to hear it all the time. So I think that when you say that, it bugs me a little bit because sometimes I feel like I'm judged if I'm quiet because I just want to be quiet.
That's
I don't
funny.
like the term angry when you're like you said when you're quiet. I got that one. Why you so angry today? Hey man, you asked me how I was doing. I said I'm cool. Why you so angry? what you I don't get what you. Oh, I know what it is. I didn't. Hey, what's up, man? I didn't come in like that, so it's automatically a problem just because instead of me saying, "I what's up, man," I say, "I what's going on," or "Good morning," and I don't have the same, so that makes you uncomfortable. That doesn't mean I'm angry. That just means that you don't know every aspect about me. You don't need to, because if you do, then it ends up being a weapon used against me in the long run. Which, when you find out, it's like it's already too late. Like, oh, okay, so you was a snake. Now I know. Now I know where the venom came from. So sometimes you have to get quiet, not because you don't like them anymore, or whatever the case is. Sometimes you like, yeah, now I know I don't like you, so now I do need to separate myself from y'all's uh, BS, bull sugar.
Bull sugar, sugar honey, iced tea. Oh, you know what? That boundaries, oversharing, over prodding. I believe that's the word. Where people
Yeah,
want to know all about you. They just want to be all in your mix of things. This is one of the reasons why we have emotional boundaries. Why are you in my space? Why do you want to know so much about me and what I'm doing and how I'm doing, who I'm doing, where I'm doing, when I'm doing, why I'm doing? Why? Don't you got something that you could be doing your own self? That's how I think. But, you know, I get it. People are just naturally nosy, but sometimes you got to learn to step back. Nobody should have to tell you that that's the edge of the cliff and you're going to fall off. You should see that for yourself. But guess what? They keep doing
But
it.
you know who not to talk to. Them people that you work with that always coming to you with other people business.
don't
That
tell
Yeah,
me
yeah.
jack.
You don't tell them shit.
no. Mm-mm.
I might
Shoot.
tell you the wrong time just to get you away from me.
Exactly.
What time is it? Oh, it's about a quarter past 19.
You're right. Right.
And I think sometimes when there's a mirror, right? Because we talk about the boundaries, we talk about the concerns that we have. Then my question always comes back to, in my own mind, well, what can I do to, because it comes back to the communication boundaries. How do I better communicate, you know, what's happening, when you say you're having your quiet moment, it's just one of those things, like you just said, three, so you don't necessarily, it's the transparency. So sometimes you've had to communicate that to your staff, and you don't want to have to do that every time. So the question just becomes, how do you what new boundaries do you need to set, or what way do you need to communicate so that that doesn't consistently become a theme for you, right? So that's the bigger, I feel like that's the bigger challenge. We can always talk about some of the concerns we have, but we have to come up with some of those solutions, right?
Right.
So, and ones that work for you, because you're the one that's being impacted, right? By them constantly poking, prodding, asking you what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, all of that. So, what is it that will make that better for you?
Mm.
So, I think that's the thought process.
Okay.
That's the big question.
Well, sometimes I think you may have to work on your game face. I mean, even if something is wrong, you're gonna have to not show that.
Yeah.
If they're prodding that much, you gotta. And I'm not saying being fake. You don't have to be fake, but you don't have to be nothing, which may
Exactly.
be hard to do. But I think you have to work on that because it will affect those. Because there may be some people who are genuinely concerned, but uh, and you're not ready to talk about that at that moment. So I think it's then the onus is on us to try to figure out how to. All right, I need before you get out that car. All right, woosah, talk to yourself, pray, whatever it is to get past. All the the interviewing of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
Interrogations.
Thank you. That's the word.
Yeah.
Interrogation.
Both, not either, both of them. This is like what it feels like. Like, why you ask me all these questions? What you bad with? I'm all right. I got games. Leave me alone.
You working with
Yep.
them people.
Right.
People.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, protecting oneself, that's an automatic defense mechanism for me. You don't say a whole lot. I'm not volunteering nothing. I'm not no.
Right.
And what I do decide to tell you is because I think you deserve to know. Outside of that, you got to know me to know me. And if you ain't trying to spend the time to know me, you ain't gonna know me. Please.
Yes,
DJ, people gotta earn their way. You gotta
they
earn
do.
the right to be around me, man. I'm sorry, because
Yeah.
I mean, you could be a vampire. You gonna just suck the life out of me. I don't need you around me. Get out my cycle.
It's funny, I'm gonna use this analogy. As everyone knows, I ride with Los Angeles Gentleman MC. Shouts out to the Gentleman Nation. And we have OGs in the club that have been here for long periods of time, many years. And part of the prospecting process, we have prospects, but they don't really get the respect as a full patch member. We have older brothers that won't have no conversation. I don't want to talk to you. Get away from me. You ain't got what I got.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep on moving. Keep on moving. That's a cold feeling to be shushed away because you don't qualify. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I respect it. I respect it because you have to earn the right to be in somebody's personal affairs, to cross the boundaries, that line, to be over here, to know what I what I don't like, who I don't like, where I've been, where I'm going. To know all of that, you have to have taken the time to know me. And don't judge me based off of my facial expression, or you heard me snap, crackle, and pop on somebody one time. You don't even know what the story is.
Right.
So I don't know. Just my thought. G's up. Yes, sir. Miss Day, you all right over there? She's just smiling. It was
Don't
good.
judge her. Don't judge her. She's being
Grinning.
quiet.
Grinning.
She's being
On the
quiet.
other hand, it was not so good. Oh, shoot. Okay, so we talked about emotional boundaries. We talked a little bit about the communication. Let's talk about time, because
Yes.
time seems to escape us all. We have very little of it. It's getting shorter and shorter for it. So let's talk about time. Time boundaries. Anybody have any boundaries for time?
Well, I mean, time boundaries are that's just how you allocate basically your time and energy, right? So when you say we don't have enough of it, we have a lot of time. We don't use our time wisely all the time, but we have a lot of time. There's 24 hours in a day. So when you start breaking down, if you're not really careful about how you break down your hours, your time, there's a process called a zero-based time budget, right? And that's basically if you take all the hours in your day and you slot in everything that you have to do, there's no such thing as like free time. Free time is still allocated time. It's just time that you're choosing to do something fun for yourself or whatever the case may be. So for me, when it comes to time and energy boundaries, that's back to your energy vampires, those people that you're allowing to be in your space or share time with you that's not beneficial to you, right? It's draining to you. It's heavy. The other thing for me with time is, again, like I mentioned, when I'm working, I don't want to be disturbed because a lot of times it takes my brain power. So if you're just constantly yapping or talking to me and I'm not giving you that, I'm not acknowledging you because I am busy, right? I've allotted so much time to get something done. So those time boundaries are important when you think about when you just said there's not enough time. We waste a lot of time. We procrastinate through that time. And I'm not talking about sleep time. Sleep time is not wasted time. That's time you need for your body to rest and recover. So you really just have to look at how you really allocating the time you have in those 24 hours in that day to do what you need to and who you're allowing to break the boundaries when you have allocated specific time to do something. For me, if I'm going to go have fun with the girls, and let's just say, my mom needs something from me in that moment, I will delay getting to them to go do something for my mom. But if I've already allocated this time, that what she's asking me is not even pressing. I've given it a priority, but it's not pressing. I allocated time to my girlfriends, and I should honor that, right? That's me being in integrity with myself. That's me being in integrity with my friends. My mom, she's my mom though, right? So you're like, all right, I could do it for mom. And then that becomes my excuse when I'm saying, yeah, but my mom needs, but that's not the point. So again, I allowed for her to break my boundary. I allowed for that to happen, but I've also allowed now for my time to be, disrupted with my girlfriends who are now not happy because I'm delaying whatever we're doing as a result of it. So I just think we have to look at it differently. Well, I look at it differently. That's one of my strategies for sure. So my 2 cents.
So in the tone of Snoopy Cliff Mello, I'm gonna have to disagree a little bit here, just because. Where you going, Miss Day? So 24 hours in the day. That's all we get. We steal from one thing to give us more time to do something. Right out the gate, if you took 24 and you minus 8 hours right out the gate, that's gonna be work. Yeah. If you are employed, I'm gonna just at the bare minimum, let's go with 8.
Right.
That leaves you with 16 hours.
16 hours.
Our commute ain't that good.
Right.
Commuting is 1 hour, hour and a half for some people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna just
10
go
hours
with 1.
just on work.
So between work and commuting, that's 10 hours gone.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't got but 14 hours left. On the average, how much do you sleep? And we know that we have to get the sleep in. You got to. Right. So how much do you guys sleep?
5, 6 hours.
Right.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
6,
Yeah.
7. Yeah.
Come on.
6
She's
on
there
good.
4.
4
I'm
or
doing
5.
good. 6 is real good. I'm like, I got 6 hours of sleep, bro. I'm in the game.
Average
I'm
4.5.
always playing catch up.
Yep.
Okay, so
That's
now
why
that
I love
leaves
my
us
naps.
with how many hours, y'all? We got
depending on
10 hours now. We got 10 left.
And you still have other mandatory times that you need, like, 8, whatever 10. You got to do that you have to take care of that's not
8,
sleep, that's not eating. And you got to, like, man, you got to.
I'm sorry, we got 8. We got 8 hours left.
Maybe.
Right.
Because somebody will call or something like, hey, okay.
So now you got 8 hours left, and now you got kids,
right?
Hubby, wifey, whatever you got going on. Oops, the dogs got to get walked.
But what time are you referring to? So we see, because again, I look at that differently. So what you're saying is dedicated hours and times for what? So you have to qualify that, because yes, on your commute to and from work, that doesn't mean you can't get things done during that time. You can use your phone, right? You can make phone calls, business calls. There are things you can do. You can, if you need to read a book, you can do it on tape. There's a whole lot of things that can still occur. I'm just saying, it depends on the time that you're referring to.
Well, he's on a motorcycle, so
Orlando don't need to be on nobody's phone.
Why? I got a Bluetooth helmet. I can hear very clear.
Whatever the case, I'm saying that I'm not saying that you're holding full-on conversations. I'm saying whatever your situation is, when we're trying to qualify time at this point, you're saying we have 8 hours left. What time are you referring to, though? Are you saying I need dedicated hours for a thing?
No, or I'm just looking at it. Sorry. I was just looking at it as we only have so much time in a day. So a lot of times, like for myself, I rob time from one thing to do something else. Motorcycle club. I'm always gone. We got to go here. We're going there. I'm not gonna make this trip, but I got to make another trip. But prior to that, I still need to do what I need to do. Like yesterday, I woke up at 4:00 yesterday morning and did 2 loads of laundry on a what's today? Wednesday? On a Tuesday? Really? Usually I do laundry on Friday, maybe Saturday morning, but oops, if we got something else to do, I I don't want to get stuck doing laundry all day. I got to do something else. And then we're not even going to talk about work. Not for me. My job has me working on the day off, and you can get in 13 hours of OT real easily and not even have no time for self. So,
And
me,
doesn't that with some of that equate to prioritizing?
yeah, of course.
Like you prioritize, for example, maybe you got up this morning, I mean you got up at 4 to wash clothes because you had to prioritize that, because maybe this Friday you're not going to be available to wash clothes because you got to be on the road with the bros because you guys going to trip. Just hypothetical. So some of it, for in my head, some of it becomes how we prioritize our time, which could have impact on the amount of time we have for self-care and all those other things that we want to do. So it's just food for thought. Some of it you prioritize differently based on what you need to get done or based on your bro
What you want
trips
to do.
and what you want to do.
Mhm.
And some of it is as multitasking. Like some of it, like when I drive to work, sometimes I forget about, like, oh, I got to make the PT appointment for Marcus. I got to get the papers. But while I'm driving, I'm like, hey, PT doctor's office, just want to check, confirm Marcus's appointment. Like I find myself to be good at multitasking because some of those things I can do on my 30-40 minute drive to work. So I think for me, it's about prioritizing, and which is not always easy either,
Right.
because I forget a lot of shit. But but
What?
I think
again, it becomes about prioritizing for me.
Okay.
I think for everybody, because your shift in laundry, probably you had to do it because of what's going to happen for you this weekend. So Friday
Yeah.
you might not be available.
I'd have been walking around like commando and
Nobody wants to see that.
don't say nobody now. Hold on now. Hold on. Hold
Oh, okay,
on.
okay.
You
Somebody
know,
does.
let's see.
sometimes my life is so busy that it's not even day to day, it's hour to hour, like literally, like I'm just going to do this for this and then this, and yeah, it's not, that's how back to back booked I am.
Right. Right.
And so
Yeah,
I
no.
do, I just prioritize and I use lists too, Talina. I write everything down
Mm.
so I
And
don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
I,
all
I
of those
think
are.
that concept of having enough time, I think is going to be subjective, because especially when you're leaning on other people to make a deadline that you're in. Yeah, because I don't have enough time. If I got 24 hours, I prioritize. I do all that. I got notes. I got notes on my dashboard. You guys can see my dashboard. I got notes at my work board at home. I got two work boards. I got a marker board. I got a glass board, and all of that is dependent on other people as well.
Mm.
So just because I'm prioritized, I gotta take one thing to put here. The reason I'm taking one thing to put another place, because guess what? I don't have time to do that other thing. And that may be dependent on myself or upon the person who hasn't gotten back to me, or persons or potential clients. It's a whole lot into that. That's why those in the motorcycle club, my stress is on time, because I have to go contrary. We don't have enough of it, and I can't afford for somebody else to waste my time. And when I'm dependent on other people, bros in the club, for all those listening, they all know how I feel about it. On time is late, early is on time. And when they don't fit that criteria, they hear now Mellow. They hear Mellow's mouth, because at 10:30 I should be somewhere else, and I can't be there because your ass was 30 minutes late.
Right. And we still got to take care of
So,
the business.
and and we still got to do this now. So that's where a lot of, like I said, if when you're a lot more independent, yeah, you can work your magic with your time a little better. But when you got groups of people, which in a lot of my cases in my real estate uh, group, I'm dependent on them who haven't gotten back to me on certain things. I'm still waiting on that. That's not up to me. That's up to them. Now we all late. The gentleman, if one person late, we all late.
Y'all like, yeah.
But let me ask you a question. I get what you're saying, And I absolutely agree with that, right? It is subjective. But even what you just said, when you're waiting for someone else to get back to you to provide you with something so you can finish a deliverable or get something kind of, I'm going to say checked off. I don't mean it so a matter of factly, but so you can get those things taken care of. You're waiting for them to get that to you, but in the interim of waiting for them, if you have to wait on someone else, there are still other things potentially in those moments that you can do, right? Or no?
No, because if we go into Cook's Corner and we need 30 people there and only 29 people are there and we can't move to that, guess what? That ain't nothing we can do but wait for them. I'm sorry, I can't find my work phone.
Y'all start blaming me. This day, it ain't my fault.
Hello.
I mean,
no,
I guess
answering
again,
right
I do
now.
completely understand what he's saying, and I think when I say there's plenty enough time, there is a lot of time because we do waste a lot of time, and we will make time for the things that are important to us in certain moments. So I do get it. When you have a deliverable, if you have a group of people and you have to be a place at a particular time for a particular thing, that yeah, I get that. I think what I'm really more or less alluding to when we talk about these time boundaries, and yes, you have to make other people respect and be on time. And it's not going to always happen when you have a large group. I think we all understand and know that. But when it comes to other things that are more controllable in your life, and how when you set out to do something, that's what I'm really referring to in terms of my time boundaries. I have control over that. If I allow someone else to come in and disrespect that, those boundaries for me or to me or around me or however it impacts me, those are things that I can control and I can make a difference there.
No, I agree with that. I was just using that as an example of, like I said, my life is built around a lot of group of people. I don't do
Right.
very much singularly, except my cabinet business. I have more autonomy, but in my other businesses, there's groups of people that I'm relying on. So
Right.
that's more or less of what I was using that example for. But
I understand. I respect it for sure.
yeah.
I get it. I do.
From an organizational standpoint, I know exactly what he's talking about because especially when you're in an organization and you're in leadership, hey man, look, you have to set yourself like you said a boundary. Look, the meeting's at 5:30. If
Period.
ain't nobody here by 5:45, I'm leaving. Y'all show up at 6 o'clock if you want to.
That's
I tell y'all,
fine, 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 fine.
because
I'm
Money is
fine in there.
yeah,
But
well, yeah, of course you know what I'm saying. But I
money is
mean,
time.
they got to be there for you to tell them. So I think that when I got to that point, I'm like, let me just say I'm gonna go to the meeting. If I get here and nobody shows up, I'm gonna go ahead and leave at this time instead of just waiting and then getting mad at myself because ain't nobody to be mad at, if that's the case. So
right.
I feel where he's coming from on an organizational level and then being in leadership because you do have deadlines, and if this person doesn't do their job, then you can't do yours. So now you got to stay on them about it. And now it's like, why you? I'm saying something to you about it because I need you to do your job, bro. I need this from you on this date. If you don't do that,
Yep.
then what? So when I say, okay, well, don't worry about it, I'll let somebody else do it. Now it's okay. So you want to get rid of me? No, I'm trying to get somebody to get rid of the work that needs to be done.
But I think those are that's back to the consequences though.
Right.
So when we talk, because that is something that you can control. Like you said, if you're not here by 5:15, if that's the allotment of time that you're giving them to be late, right? Because that's what you're giving them.
Right.
If it starts at 5, it should start at 5.
Right.
If they're not there at 5, then they're already late. And if you and then you cut the lights off and walk away, then you cut the lights off and walk away. And then you, as a person in leadership, then you have to make the hard decision and say, okay, you're not doing your job. I do need to delegate it to someone else because the time is important. So again, I get it all because I know we've all been there. Business owners, we don't have that luxury, right? We gotta get a product out the door. It has to go. We can't, if you're not here, you're not on time. Our client can't wait. At the same time, it is our responsibility to make the hard decisions when people aren't doing their jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to adhere to whatever that time responsibility is. Those, you got to make sure you get it done. Time is the one thing we'll never get back. And for me, it is one of the, Rhonda just said, it is one of the most important things, because when I'm late, I'm not happy. If someone else makes me late, I am pissed off. I don't like being late.
Pissed. Is that with a T? T?
Yes, pissed off.
Oh,
I don't like for someone else to make. Now, if I make myself late, I'll handle that. But I'm not gonna let you make me late. You make me late, we got a problem.
See, now you feeling me.
Right.
I felt you before. I felt you before.
Like,
I'm just saying, there's so many different, aspects. So I agree
hate
with
that.
you.
That's why when I'm dating somebody or whatever, when it's like, why are you so early? Because we need to be there. I don't want them not to start because of us.
We the ones.
Right.
Yeah, we the ones. I don't know. Let's be on time.
And then when you walk in, everybody gonna look at you. Now you gotta do the walk of shame. Hey, what's going
Right.
on? Wait on you, cause the chicken cold. I like, you don't want the chicken to get cold because of you.
Chicken is cold. Stand on that.
Y'all know it's gonna be a problem.
Oh,
if y'all late, and that's the reason why everybody waiting. And now the chicken cold. Everybody like, yeah, the food cold because y'all wait on y'all. Like, I know, man.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's see. That's time, communication. I think the pros and cons of having boundaries. That's always something important. There's good reasons to have them, and then there's bad reasons to have them. What are they? What are some pros? Let's go with the cons. What's the cons of boundaries? It's fun to do bad things.
You might seem rigid.
Misunderstandings.
You might seem rigid.
Right.
You might seem really rigid
to the other person or people.
Mm-hmm.
That misunderstanding, like, they angry, they mad. That's something right. Got an attitude. No, he just don't want you to be all in his face right now.
Right.
Not flexible. People feel like you're not flexible, right? Selfish. People identify you as selfish. Like there's
to their standard. That's
their standard.
Right.
It's funny because at work, when you have your ear to the walls, the locker room is real thin, but there are those who feel that I'm cocky. Yeah. Did you just do like that, 3?
No, I was stretching.
Really?
I'm just playing.
People confuse confidence with arrogance.
You are confident. You are confident.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
You're confident.
But to other people,
I've been told that I'm cocky. No. And maybe I see some issues like that because I don't engage in a whole lot of conversation with everybody. There are elite few that I have no problem with having extended conversation. We could laugh. Yuck, 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 yuck. It could be an hour after our shift and we still standing around talking. And then there'll be others and I'll be like, deuces. If I even say deuces, I'm just get on my bike and go on by my business. But people are quick to give an assessment of who you are based off of how you interact or don't interact with them. Oh, he's mean. Why? Because I don't do a whole lot of hee ha ha with you. I don't know you and you don't know me and you never took the time to try to figure me out. And I'm not trying to spend any time trying to figure you out. So what's the purpose? Why? But hey, who am I? Thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. Anything else, Talina, on boundaries that could help you lead into And I know this is not Fearless Fridays, but Fearless Friday is coming up, and so is this. Join me for a free business basics masterclass.
Yes.
Copy and paste the link below. I think that says it.
Cool.
There you go.
Yes.
But Fearless Friday is coming up, you guys, on Friday with Miss T here, Talina Matthews. What you got for us? Give us a prelude of how that's going to go.
For Fearless Fridays or for the Boss Up?
Both. Let's go with Fearless Friday first.
Well, for Fearless Fridays, we're going to do something a little bit different tomorrow. I'm going to have a guest on with me. It's going to actually be my mom because that was one of the people
Tomorrow's
that
Thursday.
Oh, shoot. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Time.
See?
Time won't give
Time.
me time.
I got
Oh,
nothing.
Lord. Too much happening. On
Fill my water.
Friday,
Yeah.
for Fearless Fridays, so I'm going to have a guest on with me. We're going to really, I'm going to dive into a couple of mine more specific challenges with some boundaries and then the strategies that I'm currently using to work through them. And also just, to have my mom on because, again, you hear me talk about it, but it's interesting to, again, hear it from a single mother's perspective, just kind of her reinforcing that was her strategy for us growing up and why, and then how she sees how that's impacted us as adults. I think that's an interesting conversation. So it'll be great for this Fearless Friday. It's going to be 3 weeks where we're going to be talking about boundaries. We're going to talk about the various ones. There's 5 specifically that I know I'm not struggling with, but that I have been challenged with. So that was the emotional time boundaries, communication boundaries, the saying no, and then prioritizing my self-care because those are areas where I've let too many things come in. And then with my master classes coming up as a business owner, a lot of times, whether you're new to business, want to start a business, if you already have a business and it can cross multiple genres, it's the difference between understanding what a business operator is versus an owner. And for many years, when, we all come in learning a business, at some point, if you are the owner of that business, you have to transition out of being down in the weeds, being the operator, into really being a corporation owner. Most of the time, a lot of small business owners don't make the transition soon enough. And that can lead to a host of other problems, including them maybe losing their businesses, or just sort of running amok because they don't have a lot of control. They're not able to scale. They're not able to grow. They're not hiring the right talent. And therefore, they're stuck. And being stuck, it's hard to get unstuck sometimes when you're in a small business. So the business basics and that whole series is really just around how do you get out of that mindset, because clearly that's the first place you got to go. Then you have to hire the people that do what you don't, right? Someone who knows better than you. You have to continue training. So there's a lot of different things, and making sure that you have the right staff. Like we all know, those of us that manage people, having the right people is critical. So there's that component. And then there's obviously the scalability, your processes, your practices, and your systems, right? And automations, because the world is changing. So keeping up with that and seeing how that's going to play. So in your business, so you're able to move out of the place of being an operator into really owning your corporation, having the 50-foot view and making sure that you are very clear and have a vision for your business. The operators don't have the vision. They're just doing the job. The owner, the corporation owner, has to have the vision for the business. So anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about, and that's where we're going to be going.
That's Talina Matthews, y'all. Fearless Fridays. If you haven't taken the time to send her a friend request, that's Talina Matthews, Telena, Talina Matthews. Send her the friend request. Tap in, you guys. She's been doing it consistently, rain or shine, travels or not. She's been jumping on there, even if it's for 5 minutes.
Even if it's for 5.
Some of us don't get to see but hey,
made
it happen.
Why
not? Tap in though, you guys. Tap in. We got some other things coming up with Talina. Her audience, capturing them. Some of you will fit perfectly into the scenario. So jump in, check her out. Outside of that, anybody got anything else on their mind that they would like to talk about? Anything heavy on the mind, heavy on the heart? Let's see here. We got Mother's Day coming up. We got Mother's Day coming up.
Yeah.
Usually by next year or
Oh, I'm sorry, that already passed. Father's Day. That's what I meant to say. The
nah, I want
dads.
to talk about that. We talking
Yeah.
about time management
Let's talk
and
about the
boundaries.
dads.
How we gonna
Mother's Day.
skip Father's Day, go to Mother's Day 2024?
Well,
Bruh.
because this is what I saw. I saw a video. I wish I could share it. I'm gonna work on that.
Okay.
So this guy was walking and he was giving a shout out to all the mothers. And then he shouted out dads that were doing some of these motherly things, taking care of responsibilities. And his girl went ham on him, like ham. Don't acknowledge no dads on Mother's Day, la da 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 da. So he's like, well, you did the same thing, yeah. And that's where I was going. Happy
So
belated Mother's Day to all
ridiculous.
your mamas.
So
How about that?
ridiculous.
Right?
That is because I'm gonna tell you on
I
Father's
can't
Day,
stand
I
it.
said
I can't
I say
stand
Happy
it.
Father's Day to my mom because
Really?
she's the one that did it all. So I feel like why not vice versa? If your dad is raised, there's a lot of fathers out there who have raised their kids without mamas.
And
So
that's what Father's Day is
Mhm.
for. Father's Day.
Yeah, give me
I,
give me flowers on
that
my
is
Father's Day.
to me, in my opinion, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever I just can't stand it. I don't know when that concept came up. I don't know who started it. Mother's Day is for your mother. If she a single mother and there was no father in the family, she's still a single mother. She has Mother's Day. If you a single father and there is no mother in the picture, and you both mother and father to your children, you have Father's Day.
Just double up.
Like that is the most
Just double
ridiculous
up.
thing to me. I can't stand it. I can't stand. Oh, I can't. That's a pet peeve.
And I
On
do
the
That
it
is
next.
a
for
pet
mine.
peeve of
I used to do
mine.
it for
That is
my
the
mom.
most stupidest thing. Everybody got a designated day.
Well,
Mother's Day and Father's Day. I don't care if
And
you're a single
Hallmark get paid
parent
off
or
they
my
do.
whatever. You
businesses.
got
They,
your day.
you do have
Oh,
your day,
that
but
irritates me.
I think for me, and yes, it sounds very passionate for you this day, but I think for me, I'm similar to Talina. My mama did it all.
My mama did it all
And
too. My daddy was still there. My mama did it all, but she don't get no fathers. She don't
well,
get
that's
no.
that's what makes the show
Yeah,
great
that's what I'm
because you're
saying. Is
entitled.
that's my opinion.
Entitled to,
I'm just
yeah,
stupid.
exactly. But I do the same thing. Like it's fun for me. My mom appreciates it, and it's fun for her.
It's ridiculous.
PK is funny.
Hey, look, I always look. I'm like, oh, why did I see it first? And it gets
PK is
Thank you,
crazy.
PK. Thank
have
you,
no
PK. That is just
Oh
so
God.
ridiculous.
what bearded lady? What bearded lady we talking about? I want to see her. I can see her next month. Hey, how you doing, man?
Oh my God. Oh my God. No,
Who's your mom?
I don't know. I'm a product of a single parent home. I love my mom to death. Um, as many of all of our parents, our mamas did it all. They did. Hustle, bustle, did everything that they possibly could do to get to work, to take care of us. But I am one of those ones, I'll acknowledge those moms that do what they supposed to do regardless, because that's what the maternal part,
Mhm.
Yes, Sean.
that's how you get it. That's
Yep.
that's girls are taught from little girls caring for the baby doll, and it just escalates to the next level. Boys are never really taught that until later on. I'll use my own child. When she came into this world, I already knew how to make formula. I knew how to wash cloth diapers, because that's the training, the education that I had living at home with my mom, with my two little brothers who were babies. So you did all those things. But, you know, I think we spend too much time sometimes trying to be acknowledged for this versus that, this holiday, that holiday. It's about mamas, it's about daddies. Give everybody their space. They earn the right to get that. And if you do something extra special for your mom, I'm not mad at you. You know, do what you do. But at the same time, you know, you got to make sure that you acknowledge both as they're
Absolutely.
supposed to be acknowledged.
Absolutely.
Sure.
That's that. That's how I feel.
Well,
That's how I feel.
Obviously, if you got a beard, then
Hey, you got a beard. That mean I got a wig on, and it's like happy Mother's Day. What? It ain't that beard with the, you know, that one mole with the one long, true 3, 4, 5 strings coming
Jerry
out.
girl coming out of it.
We're not gonna do that. Anywho, I love you guys, man. I truly appreciate you guys. You know, we always doing something. Tonight wasn't as fun and sexual, if you will, but sometimes it can't be like that. You know what I mean?
Well, let me
Well,
tell you, when we
yeah.
didn't get to what we didn't get to physical boundaries though, because there are those. We just didn't talk about that because you chose those other 5 that or at least those other 3. But them physical
Well,
boundaries are real.
I
Yeah.
got time, you know. I got time.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Do
You
you
talking
got
about what's your
time?
safe word? You better know it when
Oh,
you talking
yeah,
about
hey,
them boundaries.
Pineapples.
Better
Here we
have
go.
one.
Pineapples, I don't
Here
know
we
what
go.
it is, cherries, call it what you want to, but there's a lot of other boundaries when you talk about them physical boundaries. Those are real.
Yep.
Let's
So
do
we,
like
we,
this.
we got a few more minutes if we gotta,
Right.
you know, end it on that note.
So
Right.
to the audience, to the super chats, that's what we're gonna call. We're gonna put it on super chat.
Fun and sexual. You ran
Right, Lolo? That
you
he
guys
didn't
like to
choose
talk
that one,
about
Lolo.
physical boundaries? Would you guys like physical boundaries?
You better
That's
have
funny
some.
because when I read the topic, that's what I immediately went to. Safe words.
I bet you did.
Fuego,
I was gonna
fuego.
put it in our chat jokingly, but yeah.
You gonna prance on down here with us, Fuego? Come on, let's go.
Dang.
Let's go on and tap in, then, y'all. Physical boundaries. Physical
Yeah.
boundaries. So, can I pick somebody? Would that be appropriate?
Go ahead.
I think you might want to tell somebody if there's something that you're not into or whatever. You know, have the conversation. That way you won't have to worry about
Bananas
fucking
in your butt.
surprises and shit. You like, hey, because the whole thing is gonna be messed up. You know.
Wait, Paul, bananas in your what?
Yes.
Just kidding.
Hold on. What?
God. All right, come on, let's go. Let's talk
Yeah.
about
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah. Go finish
Let's
what you were
talk
saying, Debbie.
That was it. You got you don't want surprises. That's all. You don't want
Banana
surprises
in your
about-
tailpipe.
That's what I was talking about. Don't
Wow.
fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Right, or whatever else. It could end up.
Just when you thought we couldn't have some fun, really.
Yeah.
Ooh. Let me
But
go ahead.
from a relationship standpoint, yeah.
You don't want that?
Right, because you got to talk about this stuff because everybody ain't into the same thing, or people might not have been experienced in certain stuff. So if y'all gonna be messing around in that format, you're like, hey, do you like this, that, and the third?
Spit in my
okay,
mouth.
well, I was just asking because I'm into this, so I'm into that. I just want to make sure. But if you're not, we can, well, how you get into that? Well, I got to sit down. You don't need to know all that,
Back up.
Real smoky. Really, PK? Really? And Lolo says, where? In the tailpipe.
And see, y'all do food so wrong. I need to make a boundary with y'all and food because y'all just disrespecting the food. Okay.
Some things just, come to mind when you see them.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you got a point because, it's a lot of fruits out there
There's a lot of fruits out there. Yeah.
That look strikingly familiar.
Yeah.
They got regular bananas and they got the teeny bananas.
Little minis.
Well, talking about
and then they got the regular cucumbers and then
The
they got
plantains,
the
the plantains, and the banana.
I was gonna say organic, but y'all done went to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
What?
I think
They talking about
plantains are
something else,
smaller
man.
than
Leave it
bananas.
alone, doctor.
No.
They went left. We just
Bananas are smaller than plankton. plantains is much thicker than a banana,
There we go. Okay.
and you slice those up and you fry them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't fry the bananas.
Nah.
That ain't
No.
no.
That'd be disgusting.
Why? You don't like it mushy?
I don't like. Absolutely, I don't like it mushy. Don't give me no shit mushy. Code word mushy. Don't do it.
So yeah, we have it.
Uh,
Yeah, we have it split personalities. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Did you see
That's
PK's comment with
let's see
Lolo?
here.
The fruits be.
Split
PK says,
personality.
I'll tell you one of my boundaries. Have you ever been in one of those secret groups and the ladies post the roast
Yes.
beef meat?
Yes. Yes.
I don't like those pics. Curtains.
Curtain. Drake.
Did she say roast beef?
Yes. That's terrible.
It's
Them secret groups, they be doing a lot. It'd be some stuff you just hate that you've even seen and can't unsee.
and you can't ring the
Can't
bell.
unsee
What's
it.
the roast beef meat?
Hey
What is
man,
that?
do that to yourself.
Oh, okay. I mean, I wasn't gonna look it up, but
Please don't.
what is
God, like, you'll
that?
be like the rest of us, just
I
messed
never
up.
heard of that.
She about to come undone over this. She know what it
We
is.
gotta
Yeah, you don't
educate
want to
Miss
see
J.
that either.
Can't
You don't
Oh,
want to see
okay.
it.
I'm a
Roast
Everything's
trust.
all like.
I'm trust y'all's word.
Like
I'm
an
trust
RB
y'all's
sandwich.
word.
Yeah.
Think about what roast beef look like and put it between your legs and it'll give you a visual.
Yeah.
And there's
Curtains.
groups that share those.
Yes, it's pretty nasty.
I'm glad I ain't in it.
Yeah, I'm not up on that. Nobody
PK
wants.
said when them lips be droopy.
Flag waving. Just
Oh my God. Lottie, what up with you, man? All the way
blowing in
from
the
my
wind.
Xbox world. It's the boy Lottie. Yeah, man. Yeah. Lips just be like
Wow.
roast beef.
Gross.
Oh my God. Okay, so
I
let me
mean,
see.
I don't
Without
know what's
intruding
going
too
on.
much in people's personal affairs, you know, but what personal boundaries do you have? Did he ask that question? He did. What personal boundaries do you have?
3.
Yeah, the job was
You
quiet.
me?
You've been quiet.
Look, hold on.
I'm
Yeah, look.
listening.
Let's do it like
Yours.
this.
There
Yeah,
you
go
go.
ahead, Three. What you
I
got
know
for us,
one of
Three?
yours, Teresa.
Here we
Personal
go.
boundaries?
I know one of
Personal
yours,
boundaries.
Teresa.
Text it to me, Talina, so I can see.
I'm not
I
saying
know-
it. I'm just
Oh,
saying it.
no.
No, I'm saying text it to me on my
Oh,
phone
no.
so I can see.
No,
And then I
put
might
it-
say it.
Put
In
it
the
in
I
private
don't
chat,
know what
that's
it
private
is.
chat.
I don't know what it is.
Put it in the private chat.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll read it.
Oh,
we
for
all
this
may-
group.
Discover our. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, well,
Hmm.
I got a personal boundary. Here we go. Let's see if I
No
can be
teeth.
descriptive. No teeth.
Physical,
Damn it,
physical.
boy.
Right, no teeth. Like that's
Oh my
Personal
God.
boundaries.
Please,
That's a boundary.
please post PKs while you ready to say your see PK, you out of control tonight.
Hey, that what they got the goggles for. You put the goggles on.
It's good for that glaucoma.
Yeah, you put the goggles of glaucoma.
On your skin. On your skin. It's supposed to be good for the
I
skin.
loved it.
I'm not. I cannot.
It's like a salve. Just-
Protein.
Personal
Someone
boundaries.
said it's
Personal boundaries.
Physical boundary.
Physical.
Personal physical boundary.
Okay.
With this.
Okay. No
What's
ketchup
yours?
no ketchup on my fish, please. None.
Mm.
No ketchup on my fish. We don't want that.
Okay.
Look at
I
those
like my
faces.
steak well done.
She said, "What?" Yeah.
I'm with you. I see what. Yeah, I see where you're going with.
Hmm.
I got nervous just that fast.
Why y'all get so quiet? Y'all looking like y'all.
I done got nervous. Wow.
I'm just like, okay.
Wow. I'm sorry.
I'm not
no
too fond
ketchup
of
or no
feeling
hot
teeth.
sauce. There we go. Even
Like-
better.
Yeah, like teeth. That's uncomfortable. So that's a boundary for me physically. That is
You
not
don't-
a
you don't
preference
want
of
to
mine.
You don't want
No.
a little nibble. No little nibble every now and then.
Teeth are bones, okay? Teeth are bones. That does not belong on in certain jurisdictions.
You know.
I ain't in it. I ain't in it.
Oh my God.
And I'm gonna tell them y'all see. I'm gonna do
The
it.
dude said no teeth. We got no teeth, no ketchup on the fish. What else? Physical boundaries.
Eating spicy food.
Come on, Miss Day. I know you got
Okay,
one.
I'm
Come
sorry.
on, Miss Day. What you got?
Yeah, she be
I
quiet.
don't like that sloppy licking on the ear.
Okay.
Oh, I second that motion. Don't
I
lick
don't
my
like
ear.
that.
Ooh,
I like
Yeah.
a little nibble, but that whole wet, like I the wetness of my ear, like
Just
ugh.
drool all mixing in with the earwax.
Yeah, I don't like that. That turns me off.
You got in the middle of
I like a dry nibble, but that whole licking.
Can you put Lolo as Miss Day is saying that? Miss Day, I'm with you with the whole wet ear. Don't touch my ears. Like, Lolo, you crazy.
Thank you, Lolo. Come on, Lolo. Come on. I'm gonna read that one out loud. They got quiet because they have all been told, oh, it's just a little ketchup. No. Yep.
No.
This is
These
definitely
two right
grown
here are
folks.
just busting up laughing.
After dog. You hear me?
Right. Should we do? Okay, come on, y'all.
Listen,
I'm still waiting on Miss 3.
What's yours, Fuego? Do you have any?
Yeah, Fuego over there, she ain't said nothing.
She just took a
Fuego started
shot
the
to
whole
the
no
head.
banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, she got the giggling in. She ain't stopped.
Well, who the banana for who though?
For
Oh,
me,
yeah,
one
you
of my
clarify that.
one of my no's or my boundaries is no salad on the menu. I'm not tossing no salad.
Well, she is being transparent and honest. She doesn't want no salad or the dressing.
No
All these
vegetables.
youngsters now are into all this butt stuff. I'm not into that.
So is the banana in the tailpipe like define on who's in? Like,
Oh, I'm okay, but I'm not putting nothing in.
okay.
Yeah.
You need a little clarity. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm lost.
Y'all heard it here first.
So you're
Y'all
okay
heard
with
it
the
here first.
banana
in his tailpipe.
She said
Shoot,
But
me
she'll
too.
So she
take
don't
the
want
banana.
to.
She'll take
She
the
said
banana.
she's
Take the
okay.
banana.
Yeah, she did. I heard that too, but she's like, I'm okay. I'm like, okay.
I don't care if you want to do it to me. I'm just not doing it to you.
Right. I caught all that. You know. Yeah.
Hey, fire for president. Yeah.
Fire for president.
Have you opened up your OnlyFans page yet? Fuego?
No.
Yeah, go ahead and get that started because after tonight, I think it's gonna go up.
Ooh.
Shoot, be due. Anywho,
Fire.
I'm just clowning.
Yeah.
What you got, 3? Because you quiet. I'm waiting on you still.
I for real. I'm thinking
You've been really.
the show gonna be over. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got hot.
She said I got hot.
Like for me, it's the ear thing for real. No wet ears. That's disgusting for me.
That was used already.
I know, but I can second emotion.
Is
Like
there a
PTA.
motion on the floor?
Like PTA, I second that motion.
I think maybe I have one.
Okay.
Only one,
Maybe.
really. I think.
What?
Maybe.
Oh yeah, because you like A through Z.
Well, I mean, come on now. But I'm just saying, it would just be you gotta.
Hold on, don't hit the brake now. You already started
Breathing
talking.
hard.
No, follow instructions properly when I say wait a minute, just wait a minute and go slow when I say it when you're going the other way, because don't be rushing through and ruining shit. That's my one
All you
boundary.
gotta do is follow directions.
Follow directions.
Just follow directions.
Just follow the direction.
You heard it here first on Gentlemen After Dark. You must follow the directions.
Instruction.
Control.
No
Well,
one's going to
because
stop me.
that could be a terrible situation and end up at the hospital. So you ain't trying to go to the hospital to get your stuff sewed up.
Wow.
Hey, I mean, we got ain't no judgment. You got to keep it real.
Gentlemen After Dark, a place where grown folks can talk.
Without
No judgment.
Pet peeve when you
And
don't
for
like
me
ice
too,
cream.
a
You
little
don't like
goes
the
a long way.
pet
Like
peeve when you don't like to lick the ice cream.
Huh?
What?
what?
She said, huh?
She tried to say that while we were talking. Say it again.
Okay.
I said pet peeve when you don't like to lick the ice cream.
It's adults out here still not. Never mind. I guess it is.
Wait. I just got a question. Sorry.
Hit the road, Jack.
Is that lick the ice cream off the cone, or
That's
is
a
that lick
must.
the ice cream out the
That's a requirement.
the bowl?
That's a requirement.
Sorry, Pastor Bear.
No, don't do it. We committed. We in this together.
Father,
He might can give us a little scripture.
my hands.
I'm sure there's a scripture.
No
he can
other
give us
help
on
I
the
know.
matter.
Forgive us, Pastor.
What time is service on Sunday? We all need to be up in there.
I tell you what, go read Song of Solomon and see how closely related to this conversation it is.
Did you answer the question 3? Was that off the cone or in the bowl?
Both.
Wow. I'm learning so much about the grown folk now. They is definitely grown.
They grown.
They is grown.
Rhonda said, "Oh Lord, Pastor, let's have a prayer."
All right, hey.
Eat the cake and blow the candle out. There it is. Oh my God, I love you guys. Oh Lord,
And
let's have
less is
prayer.
good sometimes. Sometimes you don't have to be like you ain't trying
What's
to
good?
be
I missed the first
sucking
part.
gas from somebody's gasoline too hard. You're doing too much. Don't do it so hard. Do it a little.
Oh, that is a pet peeve. By
Too
the way.
Okay,
aggressive.
you are not ciphering gas from somebody's
Yeah.
gas tank.
Right.
Does that
Okay,
And
depend?
I
be
don't like it when
gentle and delicate.
Does that
I
depend on
don't
the
like it
moment,
when
though?
when your tongue is like a knife, like just
It's just too
it needs to be
much.
like
It's just
give
too
it a nice,
much.
beautiful French kiss.
Knife tongue. What is a knife tongue? What
That
kind
is the perfect
Just hard,
gentle.
Slow and easy.
Just
Snoopy,
doing
Cliff,
too
Mellow,
much.
where are you, my
Everybody
brother?
don't have to be overachievers.
right? Okay, I'm
Right.
with you. I see where y'all going with it. I'm picking up what you're saying
Overeaters.
Fellas,
Oh.
if you are here,
there. Overeaters.
Lego. Did you say
overeaters.
overeaters?
She did.
overeaters.
She trying to get the banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Fellas, if you are here still, I hope you are taking notes. Pay attention. No knife tongues.
Ooh, yes, Rhonda.
And that goes for the upper area as well.
Upper area.
Don't be doing too much.
With the girls?
Be gentle.
Right.
Be gentle. Okay.
Speaking of
Well,
gentle,
I like a little. I don't mind a little rough up there though.
Doesn't depend on the moment, though.
I mean, you know what? See, a lot of
moment.
women do
Moment.
too. A lot of women do too. Yeah,
I
that
like-
is
I like
true.
a
A lot of women
balance.
do too. Me,
I need a
no.
balance in there.
it need to be a work-life balance.
I need
Did
a work
Lolo
like
say
that.
I just joined this? Lolo, you've been here. What you mean I just
Right,
joined?
PK.
Man, I
Right.
think you
Trying to be on
Talking about
the
my pastor. Oh no.
You trying to
I
save
need
face.
those.
Trying to be
I don't know
innocent.
for what, but I need them.
She tried
Right,
to be
PK.
innocent.
Right.
Pastor Bear, I'm a bashful kind of guy. I'm
Oh my God.
What kind of a
What kind of statement was that?
I tell you what, we're gonna ask
Just
Brother
up here
Pastor
lying.
to give us some
Thank you, Miss Day.
scripture to
I want to read the
All right.
scripture tonight because y'all are heathens. And
from the Song of Solomon, amen. We're
amen.
talking about a love affair.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Guys.
We're gonna have a
And-
quiet
and-
thing before I teach this before I preach this. Come
You're
on,
in trouble.
Brian. Give him a
You're in
solo
trouble,
song.
Lolo. Create in me
Oh, a
a
clean heart.
clean heart.
Renew
Oh,
the right
boy.
spirit
Lord have
within me,
mercy.
Lord.
Anywho, I love it, you
Y'all
guys.
talking about a clean
Let
heart.
us,
Oh my
Okay, what
God.
about
let
that
us
little
pray.
area on the bed, the little wet spot? Could that be considered a boundary? Because it
Who's
could.
sleeping in the
Absolutely,
wet
because
spot?
I'm not laying in the wet spot.
I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm kidding. Y'all playing.
Who's
I
sleeping
might
in
have
the
made
wet
the wet
spot?
spot, but I ain't sleeping in it.
Oh
Okay,
my
so there's another
God.
boundary. We're
Oh
talking
my
about
God.
boundaries. That wet
Oh my
spot is
God.
gonna keep you apart.
Look
Lolo,
at here.
I was
Well, both y'all will be.
Lolo is going
I
straight
was
to
clearly
Hades.
misled.
I was clearly misled.
Wow. Wow. She
You
just
didn't
told
land
us a
on
bunch of
Plymouth
us
Rock.
head down to the bag
Plymouth
of
Rock
roses.
landed on you. Wow.
Oh God.
Rhonda
I love you
Williams,
guys,
boy.
man.
That's
We
funny.
always find a way to have some fun. I love the creative innuendos. No one here tonight has been misled. Let me allow me to lead you properly and tell you Lolo ain't been misled at
According
all.
to
She
Pastor
led
Bear,
that tag, matter of
Pastor
fact.
Bear said, "I saw your comment, Lolo."
Right. Like she started it off
Oh, God.
with the bull
She over
jive.
there saying the prayer right now.
Mhm.
Anywho, you guys, I love you guys,
Wait,
man.
get the last comment for Pastor Bear.
That's all I was trying to get to right there. That's it. Yeah.
You said your lips are like
A strand of scarlet,
Scarlet.
and your mouth is lovely. Your temples behind your veil are like pieces of pomegranate. See, he just gave you a little excerpt.
Right.
and that's the King James. That's the what is that?
King Solomon was
King
leading up
James
to
version.
something. I think you were trying to sweet
There.
talk.
Look at there. Shoot, be do.
Shoot, me
Lord,
do.
forgive us for
For our thoughtful sins.
Or
They like
human
food back
nature.
then too.
right. Shoot, be do. You've been hoodwinked. You've been
Boy.
had.
Did y'all? I want to zero in on that part of the verse
No.
where it said, "And your mouth is lovely." Now,
Let's talk about that.
I mean, we were talking about oral situations just a few moments ago, so I would imagine that had something.
I like your temples behind your veil are like a piece of pomegranate.
Your lips are like a strand of scarlet. They're smooth, and you have a lovely mouth. I don't know nobody who does not want to hear that they have a lovely mouth or a good mouth or a good.
Here we are focusing on good knees, and we don't want
PK,
to.
Y'all was about to need what that
Okay, and y'all do know that is referring to married couples, not single people fornicating. Okay.
Solomon had 1,000 women. Solomon had 1,000 women.
Solomon had 1,000. That
This
part.
was one of
1,000 women.
Yeah.
And he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. And he probably was having different situations with all of them. But
Yeah, but that ain't referring to the fornicators.
Concubines were fornicators, weren't they?
He wasn't married to them. So that was extra
They
married.
wasn't married. They was
300
concubines.
of them.
There was the side chicks and side chicks. And
Boy,
side
y'all
chicks.
sure wasn't this talkative when we was talking about
There was
polyamorous.
the biblical side chicks.
What was we talking about polyamory?
I didn't say nothing on polyamorous, but now y'all got a lot.
Oh, I think you missed that one, Miss Day.
Amen.
Wait a minute, Theresa. Did you say biblical side chick?
Hey,
Biblical side chick.
he know them in the
Wow.
biblical sense. Which
I
is
Oh
did.
my
right.
goodness.
Lolo's like
Right.
this is all a buzzkill.
You can't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Wait,
Look
look
you
at
never
what
get
PK
married. Follow
is.
me.
Say that again.
Grown folks Bible.
Look at that.
Can't get
Follow
in
me for more Bible loopholes. Really,
Yes.
PK? Really?
Amen.
That's funny.
Now
Yeah,
y'all
you
know
gonna
what we be
follow
doing.
her straight to the fire pits of hell.
Hey, I'm going the other way now.
Following PK talking about Bible
Y'all
loopholes.
get warm. It's me, all
Hey,
right.
come on, the dude. You might want to come with us, man, because you ain't gonna make it.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah, right.
You
Right.
ain't gonna make it to the wedding.
You're gonna be like Lot's wife. Don't look back. Don't look back.
A pillar of salt.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anywho,
Love
y'all,
you guys.
it's 9:30. It's 9:30.
Yeah, it's 9:30.
I got work at 5:30. Be there at 5:30 in the morning. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys. I do got an ending thought, and I'm gonna try to make sure that it's not innuendo-ish.
How about a double entendre?
Oh, what?
A double entendre.
Shoot.
We've been doing them out all night, but go ahead.
Woo. Let me find it here. My guy, Damon Jackson sent this to me a couple of days ago, and I thought it would be fitting. Apply it where you can apply it, and if you choose not to, hey, that's your choice. It just says, if you set boundaries with someone and they leave, that's good. It worked. It means you're better off without them. That's going to be our time, you guys.
Dig it.
I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for your participation. Lolo, ashes and sackcloth, you're going to need to be repenting all for the rest of this week for the lies and the more lies that you told tonight. Pastor Bear, it's always right? It's always good to see you here, man. I appreciate your energy for being here.
Pastor Bear said, "Blessings to
I
everyone.
love that.
Keep it sexy,
Keep it sexy and holy."
I love it.
The sexy and holy.
Sexy
I
and
love
holy.
Gentlemen
Like,
After Dark,
comment, and
y'all.
subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. It is a place where grown folks can talk without judgment. Uh-oh, Miss Wet Wet is in the building. That's Miss Yvette. Hey, Yvette. But yeah, it's a place where grown folks can talk without judgment, and that's what I love the most about us being here. So, from the desert to the sea, to all the cities in between, we thank y'all for being here. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.